It's Embert. He's a little old man, he has a story to tell and an opinion on everything. It's Embert. It's Embert.
Well, hello everyone, it's Embert. How are you today? Hopefully you're well. I am calling, I'm not calling, I'm on the line. I'm on the air. So I'm complaining today about lawn care. Let me tell you why. Embert has a house and it has a lawn. It's a normal house, normal lawn. The lawn's pretty small. I don't have a big backyard or anything. And in my day, I used to mow the lawn myself. And I used one of those push mowers. And what I'm talking about is the manual ones. And if you're not familiar with what that is, those are the ones that you have to push by hand. And there's blades and they turn and the only noise they make is when you're pushing them. They didn't use gasoline or electricity or any of that newfangled stuff. Anyhow, the problem that I have is Embert's older now. I have to pay somebody to mow my lawn. Now, back in the day, when my son used to mow, and I'm talking about my son, not my grandson. My son used to mow the lawn. It was part of his chores. And I'd like to give him an allowance. Well, back in that day, 50 cents a week was a lot of money. It really was. I know that sounds so cheap. I feel like I got hair in my mouth. So the point is, Embert's having a day. The point is that I used to pay him 50 cents a week to do all of his chores. Well, of that, the lawn was the biggest chunk. He got 25 cents to do the lawn and 25 cents to do all the other chores. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, Embert, you cheapskate. Keep in mind that back in the day, Embert made like $3,000 a year. And I bought a house. The first house I bought cost $14,000. You know that the house is worth over $200,000 now. It is because of the crazy inflated prices that are not real. So don't fall for that. We'll talk about that someday too. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that right now. I'm going to say, grandson, we need to talk about the cost, the inflation of cars and houses. We'll talk about that one day because let me tell you, it's important that Embert chimes in on that before you make dumb mistakes. Some of you probably already did. Too late. So sad. Anyhow. So the point is, that's what that costs. It costs $400 for a car, a new car. We're talking about, you can think about the money Embert made. You compare it in today's dollars. That's probably now it would be the equivalent of giving him $20 a week. And I think that's too much. And that goes all into the whole inflation thing we talked about before. Anyhow, the point is I paid him, let's just say, we'll just worry about that, 25 cents to do the lawn. Now, then comes my grandson. I'm sorry. I don't know why that happened. So it just flew out. Excuse me. Anyhow, my nephew, why do I always want to call my nephew? For God's sake. Anyhow, my son used to mow the lawn. Well, I told you about that, right? So we got that out of the way. Well, I feel like I just said we were talking about my son after I told you all that stuff. Now, let's bring in my grandson, which, by the way, I asked him yesterday, you going to get on the air or what? He said, I don't know, Granddad. So before he said, probably. But he just likes to let me just go. Anyhow, the point is, what's the point? Oh, my grandson did the lawn. Now, he got paid $1 when he was, 8 or 9. Okay? He got paid $1 to do the lawn. Then he got a little older. Embert, I retired. I got more money than I had when I wasn't retired. But that's how that's supposed to work out. So I raised him up to $5 every time he did my lawn. That's a huge jump from going from a quarter. So now, my grandson is a little older, not as old as Embert, obviously not as old as his dad, but he has to work. So he can't just be doing all this. We have this chunk of time to do this, but he still has to go to his job. And he works a shift work. So sometimes he's like, "Oh, Granddad, can we do a show at about 2 a.m.?" No, but I did. I just didn't tell you. Anyhow, now, because my grandson doesn't have time to do it, my son certainly doesn't have time to do it, I hire a boy to do it. Well, it's not a boy, it's a company, because the kids don't go out and mow lawns anymore like they used to. Sometimes they do, but not in my neighborhood, not in Everett's neighborhood. You don't see a kid riding a bike, walking, doing anything. They're just riding around on scooters and things. That's all. They don't look at you. They just keep going. Thankless punks is what they are. Not all of the kids, but the kids in Embert's area. So I pay a company. I gotta pay them $40 to do the same thing my son used to do for a quarter. A quarter. Now I'm paid $40. And then they do the snow too. That doesn't cost as much, but it may as well. It's not that far different, and there's a lot less sidewalk and driveway that they have to deal with than if it was lawn. So I don't know. My point is, Embert says it's time, if you've got kids and they're at least 8, 8-year-old can mow a lawn. You show them how, you watch them, and you critique them and let them do the lawn and pay them. Whatever, $5, I guess. It's very expensive to buy anything right now, but do it for $10. Heck, do it for $20 instead of paying a company $40. But Embert can afford it, but that's not the point. I mean, when they come here, there's 3 guys that show up on 2 big mowers, and one guy's got the hand mower, and they go in the front yard, they go in the backyard with the machines, and then the lawnmower gets the areas that the machine can't get, like right up on the edges, and then they do the weeds and things like that. I'm telling you, I got something in my mouth. It's still there. Anyhow, so what I'm saying today is, educate a child. Teach them the trade of mowing lawns, doing the weeds, doing the things. You parents today, there's parents all over. You know why I don't see a boy doing the lawn or a girl? I mean, I know girls that do lawns too. I didn't mean to leave out the girls. Embert's not sexist or sexy, but that's a whole different story. So anyhow, when you let your kids go outside and do the lawn, it gives them a sense of responsibility and importance, and they learn how to do things. They don't know these things unless you tell them. But parents are too busy. They don't have the time to do it, so they just hire somebody to do the lawn. I have an excuse to. I really shouldn't be out there doing it. I would, but I get in trouble from my grandson and my son. And my, what is she, daughter-in-law? Oh, she has a kitten. If I even try to go, Ember likes to go up on a roof and clean the gutters. They're like, "No, you can't do that, Granddad." I'm not her granddad, but they'll call me Granddad. That's the thing about when parents have kids, they start calling their parents grandparents. My son calls me Granddad all the time. Did you have fun with Granddad? Okay, tell Granddad bye-bye. Okay, first of all, my son's not 6. He doesn't need to tell Granddad bye-bye. But he's what he used to do when he was a little kid. Tell Granddad, and he'd go, "Bye, Granddad. This is my son talking to me." Like, what are you talking about? Anyhow, it's your responsibility as a parent to get your kid out there, give them something to do. If you don't, they're going to do the drugs and the cocaines and other things. Okay. So, goodbye for now. Oh, wow. Uh-oh. I lost my. The camera shut off. Am I even still here?
It's Embert. He's a little old man. He has a story to tell and an opinion on everything.